Hi, Elaine here. My website's countryhomeandheart.net, and today we're going to be making pork chops, and I'm going to make the complete meal. We're going to be having the pork chops, and I'm going to be making rice and gravy for my husband, and I have some of the collard greens that I made the other day that I'm just going to heat up. And so let's go ahead and get this started. Now I have my pork chops that I have been that I've had sitting in some meat tenderizer, and they've gotten to room temperature. So I'm going to put this down so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, let's move this out of the way. Okay, and now all I'm going to do is dredge these in some flour like that. Turn them over and do this side. Okay, and now I have some buttermilk, and I'm going to dip these in the buttermilk and dredge them in the flour again. So let's go ahead and just dip these in that buttermilk. And I'm going to put some more flour over these, and we're going to coat these really good this time in flour. Okay, that one looks good, and let me get the other one. And I'm going to hang on to that flour because I'm going to use that flour for making gravy in a little while. Now what we're doing with these pork chops is this is self-rising flour. And I typically use self-rising flour because I usually have better luck with the self-rising flour than I do with all-purpose when it comes to coating. The coating turns out a little lighter and a little crispier. Okay, so right now I'm going to wash my hands after handling that meat. I don't want to touch anything else until I've washed. Alright, I got that done. Okay, and now at this point I'm going to turn my burner on. So I'll come over here and just let this grease start getting hot. And while my grease is getting hot, let me turn this back down so you can see what I'm going to be doing with the rice. I'm going to go ahead and get this rice started. So I have my rice cooker. And this is just a little, it's not an electronic one, it's just a little one that goes in the microwave. And since my husband basically is the only one that eats rice, this makes just about enough for him. So I'm going to take 1/2 cup, this is just plain long grain white rice, and I'm going to put that in, the cooker. And to that, I'm going to add 2 cups of water. Okay. And then to that, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. And now I'm going to make sure I have my rice cooker put together. There's this little piece here that goes inside the lid like that. And I'm going to put this down. And now snap this shut. And then I'm going to put this in my microwave for 20 minutes. Okay. And I'm going to cut the camera off just for a minute till I can move you, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and my skillet is hot. The grease is hot. I just put a little canola oil in these. Now, I won't have to salt these because I used meat tenderizer. They had sat in the meat tenderizer for about half an hour or so. So And it does contain a certain amount of salt, so I won't have to salt these. Okay. I'm going to wash my hands again after I put those in there, so I won't have to handle anything else now. Okay, and we're just going to let those fry for a little bit until they get done, until they get brown on that side, and then I'm going to turn them. Okay, so I just, whoops, didn't mean to bump you there, I bumped you a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to turn this heat down just a little bit. Okay. And now that I have these started, I'm going to go ahead and start my rice for 20 minutes. Okay, and the microwave is running. And I'm going to check these and see if they are ready for me to turn over yet. Yep, definitely are. They're brown. See how nice and brown? And these pork chops always turn out crispy like this. They're very, very crispy and just have a really good taste. So. Okay, and I'm going to finish cooking these, and when I get this ready to make the gravy, I'll be back. Okay, we're back, and our pork chops are done, and they turned out real crispy and nice. And over here in this pot, right there, I have some collard greens. And the rice is in the cooker over there, and it's just sitting there to stay warm. And we're getting ready to make the gravy. So in my pan, I have about 3 tablespoons of the oil left that I fixed the pork chops in. And I left all the little pieces and little bits in there because that's what's going to make it good. And to that, I have added the same amount of flour. Whenever you make gravy like this, you want to use equal parts flour to the amount of grease or oil that you use to start this out with. And I don't hardly have quite enough flour in there, so I'm going to add just a little more. And this was the flour that I coated the pork chops in. That way I'm not wasting it. And I still have a whole bowl here of flour that was not contaminated with the meat or anything that I can actually put back in the canister because I just dipped that out with a spoon. And so not much waste when you do it that way. Okay, and that's still not quite enough, so we're going to put a little more flour in there. Okay, that ought to do it right there. Alright, and we're going to get this brown. Turn the heat up a little bit. I'm going to get that flour good and brown. I still don't quite have enough. I'm going to add just a little more. Okay, yeah, that looks better. Okay, and in this little measuring cup, I have salt, about a little over a teaspoon of salt, and I have some pepper, and I have just a pinch of sugar. And what the sugar will do is remove any bitterness or anything that the flour might cause. So we want to make sure I always make sure that I use just not enough flour or not enough sugar to sweeten it, because you definitely don't want to make that gravy sweet, but just enough to cut any kind of bitterness that it might pick up. So. Okay, and this is starting to brown. I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit. And this is beginning to brown, and it's starting to smell good. My husband absolutely loves gravy and rice, so that's why I'm making the rice and gravy for him. Personally, I prefer potatoes to rice, but unfortunately I shouldn't be eating like that too much, so I just fix the rice and the gravy for him, and I'll just have the meat and the vegetable, and we will be good to go. Okay, and it's beginning to brown. Turn our heat up a little more. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now this is 2 cups of whole milk, and I'm going to add slowly. And I don't want to bring this to a boil because I am using milk, so instead of the non-fat dry milk. So I'm going to be very careful not to try not to let this boil, but just thicken. And I'm going to grab just a little more water in case I need to thin that down a little bit, so I'll have that handy. All right, and we're going to keep stirring this until it gets thick. And again, I don't want to boil this. I'm not going to let this come to a boil, but I am going to let it get thick. Okay, and it does look like it's going to take some more. It's getting too thick, so I'm going to add some milk or water to it to thin it down a little bit. Okay. And that's much better. You see how that is, and it did pretty good. It didn't separate and curdle like sometimes whole milk tends to do. And again, I think that's because I'm not letting that come to a boil. And I'm definitely keeping that stirred constantly. I don't want to let it sit there and boil. Okay, and I'm going to turn my heat down a little bit more. And it looks like the gravy is done. So I'm going to take this off of the heat and set that aside. All right. And I'm going to get our plates ready, and I will be back with you shortly. Okay, I'm back, and I have this all plated up, and I'm going to show you what this looks like. And there we are. Okay. And right here is my husband's plate. Oops. Right here is my husband's plate, and he has rice and gravy, and he's got some collard greens, and he's got a little pork chop. And here is my plate, and I just have a pork chop and some greens. I didn't take the rice and gravy, but that's going to be plenty for me. So, okay, and we are going to eat. So, and enjoy this meal. So, bye for now, and we'll see you next time.